Welcome back to Breaking Generational Curses. If you're new here, I'm Sierra, and this space is all about keeping it real, breaking toxic cycles, renewing the mind, and building legacy, all while keeping Christ at the center. Now, today, I want to encourage someone and talk to you about something important, and that is don't miss your moment. Now, lately, things have been looking a little dark for some of us, okay? And I understand this may not be for everyone, but for those who this message is for, you know what I'm talking about. Things have looked a little dark on the job. Sometimes it has been looking dark at home, and it has definitely, looked dark across the world. We've noticed it. You've noticed it, right? And so it seems like the worst of the worst are holding positions of high authority. People have become inhumane, careless, ruthless, you name it. It just seems like that so many people are operating out of dark places. And sometimes it makes us question, if I'm being honest, do they even deserve those positions? That may just be me, but if you've ever felt that way, I will say this. What you're feeling is not wrong. What you've noticed is not wrong. But I am here to tell you that there is a fall coming. Stick with me, okay? Because I'm getting ready to make some connections for you. Biblically speaking, throughout time, there have been documented instances of individuals who experienced a fall. These individuals were in positions of authority, whether high ranking or just general authority, okay, who were directly and intentionally disobedient to God's word, or what we would call operating outside of biblical principles, okay? And I have a few examples for you, and I would link the scriptures to these stories in the description so that you can read on your own. The first example that came to mind was King Saul. He committed several acts of disobedience, revealing his lack of trust in God, which led him to lose his kingdom, lose favor, and ultimately his life, right? Then you have Samson. Samson, with his selfish desires and his lust, he compromised his Nazirite vow and revealed the secret of his strength to Delilah, which ultimately caused him to lose his strength, his freedom, and his life. Okay? And then, of course, there is Adam and Eve. And you all know the story, right? So you know where I'm going with this. Okay. Eventually, people in authority who are disobedient and go against God's word and his principles, their time will come to an end. And regardless if we see it right now, it will play out right before us. The evil that we see and the things that we are experiencing, it has an expiration date. So the truth is, the Father is raising up people who actually want to lead with integrity, trustworthiness, humility, empathy, and fairness. Okay? People who, once they're in some sort of position of authority, and this could be in any industry, okay, that you get the opportunity to lead by example, okay, to help other people and guide others on how to live fulfilled lives in every aspect of their life, okay? And this isn't in respect to any specific industry. It could be any industry, right? Whether you are an educator, medical professional, counselor, political, judicial, HR, whatever it is, now is the time to prepare and to be ready when your name is called. Some of you have been fighting with, moving in that direction of purpose. And I am here to tell you, We were created for such a time as this. And God is making room for you, okay? Depending on where you are in your walk or in your purpose, you either need to prepare or you need to go ahead and move on what He's already planted in your spirit. You know, the time is now, because what you don't want to happen is for the opportunity to present itself and you're not ready. There are people standing around waiting for their opportunity, okay? And I know a lot of people may say, well, what's for me won't pass me by and all those things. But the truth is, you can be passed up, okay? Because when the Father is ready, it's go time. Now, it doesn't mean that opportunity may not come back around, right? But why wait another 5 years, another 7 years, another 10 years when in the next 6 months, the next year, or however long it may or may not take, it can be your time, right? You have been coming across these videos, you have received confirmation after confirmation. You know, don't miss your moment. You know, now is the time to move and prepare. So when your time arrives, you're ready. You know, I think I think about my own purpose, right? I probably could have been further along than where I am today. But because I was so wrapped up in doing things my way, I wasn't prepared, you know, just moving through and not really learning, or I'll take that back, learning, but not implementing what I was learning, right? I was still operating in the way that I wanted to and not in the way that God called me to, you know? Now, for the other group of you who are already in your purpose, you may already have a seat at the table, or you may, you know, already be operating in an environment that is exactly where you're supposed to be. But catch this, okay? You haven't been a good steward over that position, over those people, that business. You've conformed instead of standing up for what's right. It is not too late to change. I know God placed a call on my life very early on to help people reach their highest potential. But if I am real with you, the enemy tried to kill my love for people very early on. You know, that came through betrayal, hate, lies, and that was from family members, that was from friends, so called friends, and of course, strangers, right? And for a long time, I used to say things like, oh, I'm just not a people person. You know, have you ever said that before? I'm not a people person. Yeah, that's the trick of the enemy. That makes it so easy for us to shut people out. Okay. But for me, God eventually placed me in my career where I had no choice but to work with people, one on one at that. And you know what I realized? People are actually not so bad when you get them by themselves. Slowly but surely, I remembered my love for people just coming back. You know, I loved connecting with people, or I still love connecting with people, coaching, mentoring, encouraging, or just watching them thrive, you know? And I've been able to operate fulfillingly in my purpose through my profession. Even with that, you know, purpose doesn't always mean you have to start over or quit your job. It may simply mean you need to show up differently and prepare while you're walking in what you're already walking in, you know? That's when fulfillment kicks in. That's when peace shows up. That's when you start to see a little light um, throughout that darkness. So keep that in mind, okay? That thing that's been tugging at your heart, that's been tugging at you, that dream you can't shake, That is purpose saying, don't miss your moment. Okay? Stop running. The time is now. You were not created to stay stuck. Those giants that you see, those positions that you have already said, if I was in that position, I would do this right. I would do A, B, and C. I would do this differently. It's time. Okay? It's time. And people who are connected to your call, they're waiting for you to show up. All right? So step into your assignment with intention. All right? Step into it. So if this resonated with you, do me a favor and like, share, and subscribe. We are on this journey together, okay? God is doing a new thing. Keep him centered. Keep your eyes on him, and he will guide your path so that you don't miss your moment. All right? Until next time, peace, love, and healing.